Alright, so what's up guys? So we are out here on another run, out here doing this craziness for all you guys to simply sit back, watch, admire, and enjoy, right as we make our way out here running, using our mindset, and in particular, a successful one, right? One that will get you to where you want to go, right? Motivate you, inspire you, keep you on course. Because if you don't, you will get lost and not know where you're going, lose track and focus. And if you lose focus right now, we're gonna drop everything, possibly hit these cars next to us. And to overcome that, we gotta have that mindset. So don't worry, because we're gonna give you 4 tips in order to foster that successful mindset, right? A mindset that those successful individuals have, right? Those that we look up to, famous athletes, entrepreneurs, musicians, you name it, they've got it, right? Because if they didn't, very likely they wouldn't be where they are today, right? So by virtue of having that mindset, of them having it and achieving what they did, why not put it upon yourself to replicate that behavior? And essentially do it again, do it over, do the right thing, just what they did and have. So tip number 1 regards to building that successful mindset is to not let failure, rejection get to your head, right? Push it aside. And actually, you not just want to push it aside, right? You want to acknowledge it, recognize that it's necessary, right? Because the first step, I get it. If the rejection, the failure feels too rough, you may want to put it away, right? Not think about it. And that might help you for a little bit. But the real work, right? The real improvement is in acknowledging it as a good thing, as a positive, right? Because you're taking action, right? The people that don't do this may have huge, lofty dreams, but they never achieve anything. They never do much with their life, right? As the old saying goes, if you want something, ask for it. So many people don't do this, right? They're afraid, to simply go after what they want, right? Maybe due to self-doubt and so forth. And if you're aspiring to be a famous musician, athlete, actor, whatever it is, why not, look out for coaches, right? People that can potentially improve you, figure out who's doing what, who can potentially, get you forward, get you jobs, get you hired. And, only from then will you be able to make that progress, right? But what you're gonna realize upon embarking on that journey, right, which is gonna require that mindset to handle the rejection, right, and the failure, because not everybody is gonna say yes, right? Not every audition and tryout is gonna go your way. You're gonna fail, you're gonna bomb, you're gonna make errors, you're gonna make mistakes. And it doesn't necessarily matter whether or not they happen. Of course, you want to limit them as much as you can, but when they do, you have to know how to handle them, right? An old example I can think of is from baseball, right? Everyone makes an error and everyone strikes out, but what separates the winners from the rest of the squad are those that are okay with it, that are okay with making a mistake, right? Because they're mature, they're wise enough to know that it's part of the game, right? Had they simply not stepped up to bat, they wouldn't have risked it. They wouldn't have risked making that error, right? And that whole potential success is all that matter, right? Get it? Potential, right? Doesn't mean the success is always going to happen, right? And you got to be okay with that, right? Because the successful mindset, the winners keep pushing through it. And that's tip number 2, right? Once you got over the fear of rejection, you got to keep going, right? may seem hard. You may lose motivation, right? Lose the reason why, or even question yourself, right? Why am I doing this? What am I doing here? And even though, you know, you may feel that way, or for many people wake up that way, still happens to me and many people, but you wake up without motivation, but you feel like crap. You question yourself. You simply just want to stay in bed and do nothing. And if you do that, you're hurting yourself, right? Hurting your ability to succeed, right? By not taking that action that you were supposed to take. And, you know, essentially, to have the winner's mindset, you just have to keep going, right? If basketball players, that's so much about getting injured, and we're so worried about getting injured, they wouldn't be able to put their best foot forward. And obviously, it's a part of the game, right? And people want to limit it as much as they can, but they have to realize that it's a part, you know, of what they do, right? That risk, right? And they're so scared, you know, of getting hurt, getting injured, they're not going to continuously push on and do the things that they have to do, you know, to make it to the finals and wherever they have to go, right? Win the championship, win the title. That all takes, you know, long times and strenuous effort, right? Those championships aren't held to that regard, you know, by giving that to anybody, right? That's the whole reason why they're so valuable, because it takes so much work to get there, right? It's a culmination of great things happening. And you got to realize that, right? That successful people realize, right? So beyond the repetition is that success is often really out of your control, right? All you can control is the effort you put in, right? Like winning an NBA title, right? All these different pieces have to come together, and it'd be foolish for the point guard to worry so much about the center, right? The point guard's got to make the plays, pass the ball, shoot the threes, and the center has got to stay in the paint, right? The point guard can only do so much of the center's job, right? The best thing for that point guard to do is get good at what it has to do, and essentially not get lost, not get so worried in things that they can't control, they have no power over, right? And you simply have to leave and be, right? Let the coach do the coach's job, let the manager do the manager's job, and the GM and so forth, right? No one player or person can do it all, right? And it's okay, right? Because the success only boils down to doing your part and your job very well, right? Because you're expected to do so. So don't worry so much about the stuff that you can't handle, right? I'm not born, you know, 6'11", 7 foot, right? So if I would go and play, I wouldn't be trying to be a center. My best position is probably a point guard, right? And so forth, right? Figuring out what you're good at and specializing and not trying to do so much and worry about so many different things, because so many people don't know what they want to do, and they worry so much about getting good at too many things. Really narrow it down and focus, right? Hobbies are one thing, but if it's what you want to do with your life and be successful, to develop that successful mindset, you have to specialize on it, hone in on it, and do it. And, you know, tip number 4 for that successful mindset is to know yourself, right? Know what you're good at, know what you're bad at. So, you know, essentially you know, can have a better idea of what to focus on. What is your selling point, right? If you are a lawyer, per se, what area of law do you specialize in? Is it corporate law? Is it tax law? Is it environmental law? Figure out what it is that you are good at and do it what you are bad at, and avoid those jobs, right? If you're bad at an environmental law, you don't know much about it, why would you be applying for environmental jobs, right? When you know you're good at corporate law, right? Just do that. Focus on what you're good at, right? By knowing yourself, And you know, it's not to say that you are forbidden from working on your weaknesses, right? If you are too big and bulky, right, in the gym, you're always there. You know, it's okay to work on your cardio a little bit, right? Tone it down. And you know, vice versa is the case, right? You're running too much, too skinny, too lanky. It's okay, you know, to fix your weakness and start lifting some weight, right? Get some size, get some mass and strength, and you know, you'll be on your way, you know, to getting better, right? To being more whole, more well-rounded, and doing that. And the example that comes to mind is LeBron James, right? LeBron James essentially has really no weakness, right? He may be amazing at certain things, but you can't truly point a finger at something he's very terrible at. And you know, by taking that into account, try to be well-rounded, right? You don't have to focus on being excellent in so many things. Just fix them, right? Don't make them easily exploited. These are the 4 things for a successful mindset. So I always just say thank you very much. Goodbye.